Ladies and gentlemen, boy oh boy, do I have some crazy news to share with all of you today. And as you can imagine, right, Wuthering Waves has been a game that's been facing some adversity over in China for quite a while now. And there's actually one thing in particular that I want to pull up that I do believe is probably one of the recent causes of it. And that is, of course, the leaks that Kuro made of a very specific sort of character. We all know that Kartithia came out. She's ready to go. We saw a little bit of her animation, her liberation, all of this really good stuff. And of course, right, this absolutely bonkers, boom, crazy liberation animation, right? That's probably something that a lot of people were really looking forward to, and it undeniably ruffled a lot of feathers in the gacha gaming space. And there's been a response. There's actually been multiple responses. There have been people saying to mass report the trailer, and there's actually been an official confirmed DDoS of Kuro's servers in China. So we got Narushio translating over here. This post has also been added to the Wuwa Unfiltered subreddit. Not sure if it's on the main one or if it got censored over there. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. PSA regarding the network service outage in mainland China for Kuro Games. Again, this is on March 14th, so this is literally at the time of recording today or maybe yesterday, depending on when you're watching this. Dear Commandant and Rovers, do keep in mind that's the main character in PGR. This is the main character in Wuwa, so it actually affected both games. Since 000 on May 14, 2025 UTC, Kuro Games' servers in mainland China have been subjected to multiple cyber attacks, causing login disruptions for some players of PGR and Wuthering Waves. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Network services are now being gradually restored. Thank you for your continued support and understanding. And boy, oh boy, when you see a post like this, especially knowing all of the incredibly good news that the game has been receiving, or that both games, honestly, have been receiving over the past couple of weeks, well, it's not really much of a surprise. We already talked about the Kartithia gameplay, her eventual release in version 2.4. Well, we also have another collaboration coming out when it comes to PGR. And that is, of course, a super hyped one that involves Devil May Cry, one of the most storied and respected action franchises, probably like in the history of action games, and they're going to be directly collaborating with PGR as well. And so it's clear that there's a lot of really good things happening for both games, and this cyber attack seems like it's going to be one of the first of many, bad efforts being made by people that simply do not like this company. And I'm going to be honest here. This isn't the first time that this has happened, and we've got proof of it. We're all super aware of this situation over here back in the day, right, ladies and gentlemen? This was about a month ago where we had the massive censorship that occurred across Cantarella and Fleur-de-Lis. They rolled back some of the Fleur-de-Lis stuff. Some even say that it looks better than it used to over here. And that was pretty much the majority take, is that it was caused by a group called XJJ. I'm still not going to try to pronounce it. It's been a month, and I probably should have learned by now how to pronounce it. I'm still not going to learn how to do it. They still got the XJJ organization that has gone ahead and, in a lot of ways, been composed of, like, several factions. We talked about one over here that does the doxing, and in this case, perhaps the DDoSing. And then they've got their other faction over here that focuses on, being more publicly facing, the prominent figures, the public face, some of the content creators. And then we had a more recent situation over here where we had even more reporting of the new Kartithia, the one that's releasing in version 2.4. They released her splash art, and then now they're saying we can start reporting now, and then providing the forums on how to report it, just like how they reported Wuwa version 2.2. And then we have Hoyo CCs going ahead and asking Billy to limit the number of views on Kartithia's gameplay video. And they're doing this with over 500,000 followers. And they're doing this because they got butthurt about their content being censored, but now they want to take it out on Wuwa. And that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. There have been so many recorded attacks over in the China region that it's gotten ridiculous. And the only thing that you can assume is that the only fan base with the resources and the only fan base that actually cares enough to do this sort of thing is naturally going to be Hoyoverse. And if you look into any comment thread about this whole situation, people are naturally going to assume that it's going to be Hoyo. I don't think that there's any sort of other party involved that you could potentially even think about blaming. And so we got Lord of Arcana over here. This is actually somebody on the Wuwa Unfiltered subreddit, actually summarizing this situation pretty well. Game was massively reported. That was in Wuwa 2.2. Partithia was revealed. Someone tried to report again. We covered that one. Apparently, there were fake job listings on a platform that Kuro actually sued the job platform website for. And these fake job listings were essentially done to make it seem like Kuro was completely incapable, that they were not able to, that they didn't have the resources or the manpower necessary to actually, run their games. And then Kuro won that lawsuit and got those posts taken down, and of course probably got a nice little bag on the way as well. And now we've got the cyber attack. All these points have one thing in common, and that is service disruption to customers in some form, right? You're getting the product changed when it comes to Cantarella. You're getting an upcoming product that has been shown changed as well. You're getting people thinking that the game is not able to sustain itself in the future based off of these job listings. And now they're literally not allowing you to play the game, or the games, really, for a certain amount of time. And boy, oh boy, who would stand to gain from this benefit? Is this just some pure schizophrenic individual, or individuals with an agenda against Kuro? And when we already know about all the situation going on over here, when this has been confirmed to be a literal e-terrorist group, XJJ is confirmed to be an e-terrorist group by the Chinese government. I think it's pretty easy. I think it's pretty simple to understand where the fingers should be pointed in this situation. And boy, oh boy, was r/Gacha Gaming not happy about this post. Where naturally, a post like this, which is, pretty significant to the gacha space, is something that should be discussed on this subreddit. And so you can naturally see, just from me popping it open, they're not letting that happen. It's a locked post. And so let's go ahead, let's read. Everyone thinks that this is really just r/Hoyo Gaming. It's infested with some of the most die-hard, dedicated, loyal players of Hoyoverse Slop. Let's go ahead and see what exactly they had to say in this situation.
While an official notice about a cyber attack impacting the service of multiple games is newsworthy enough to be shared and approved within the subreddit, immediate finger-pointing, bickering, and insults has made it clear that there is unfortunately no chance of constructive discussion within the comments of this post. Therefore, the comments have been locked.
Wow, they never do this. So they're like, yeah, the post is entirely worthy. The post should be discussed, but we're just going to go ahead and lock it because the finger's getting pointed right now in this scenario. They're getting pointed at Hoyoverse. I cannot tell you the number of posts that have just been straight up shit-talking Wuthering Waves, right? Painting the company and painting the game in a completely horrible light that have been allowed to stay up in this subreddit. Primarily because, obviously, right, those comments are against Kuro and not necessarily Hoyo. And the only time when it's clear the amount of shit that's gone on behind the scenes, where you have literal Hoyo CC saying to mass report, you have people like XJJ providing forums on how to mass report, and it's been done twice in version 2.2, and then it's also been done again for version 2.4. They're saying,
oh, that's... Nope, no pointy fingers here. You're not allowed to talk about it. Oh, why are you guys going ahead and talking about it so much and trying to find out and trying to talk about who was involved and who might have done this?
By the way, the post about Kuro losing some bet against Tencent and selling the company's share, which was clearly misinfo, is still opening up. Breaking news, Kuro Games is now a subsidiary of Tencent. Yep, people are speculating that Kuro Games have lost the previous bet-on agreement with Tencent, and thus, according to the agreement, Kuro Games has now become a subsidiary company of Tencent Games. They allowed this post, completely filled with speculation about how Kuro Games failed to meet some undisclosed revenue target, and then, as a result, got, lost a share of their organization. The screenshot shows that multiple Tencent supervisors have joined the board, replacing previous supervisors from another investment company. And then you could just, I think we even go into here. Yeah, we do an entire crazy coverage of this. And guess what? Not locked. Instead, The mods simply just decide to make their own comment and then just keep this entire post filled with an absurd amount of misinformation, additional speculation on Kuro Games just straight up failing as a company. They just keep that one up. But hey, a post over here about Wuwa simply being under a cyber attack and then people in the comments discussing it.
Oh, we gotta lock it. We gotta remove it. We gotta remove it immediately. Oh, this is painting Hoyoverse in a negative light. We can't have that. We can't have one company on this subreddit being painted in a negative light.
But they're gonna keep an entire post, allow 1K comments. It's still not locked to this day. Just filled with absolute bullshit. Oh, and then people are typing stuff like this. Wuwa players are definitely living the real life 50-50 now. Oh, they get hit with heavy monetization and drastic changes. Godspeed, gamers. Hope you win. But you guys might just get fucked too. Right before the PvP, this is gonna be cinematic. Is it because they didn't make enough money, according to the agreement? Oh, the company's broke, so that's why this is happening. Yes, it appears so, but I don't know how much Kuro Games put on the betting table. This is the sort of shit that they kept up. This was the sort of shit that these mods found acceptable. It was done 6 months ago, and I guess memory really isn't a strong suit of the absolute idiots on this mod team, whoever's in charge of this account, because the one time that Hoyo happens to be on the other side of the table, they're ready to clear it up. And then they even got this to kind of like back up why they're doing this. To be clear, the original announcement simply states that an attack causing disruption happened and that service has since been restored. There is no mention of specific parties, and no evidence exists to insinuate any specific group is behind the attack. Yeah, but you can speculate who's behind the attack, right? We just saw over here that speculation is entirely okay. Negative speculation is 100% acceptable as long as Kuro Games is the party that's being negatively speculated on. But the second that it's Hoyo, the Hoyo community, with all of the confirmed things that have occurred in the past when it comes to them trying to sabotage Wuthering Waves. The second that Hoyo is implicated, these motherfuckers gotta lock it immediately. It wasn't even up for 7 hours, and it's already locked. And this is the type of stuff that you're gonna be seeing on this subreddit. This is the type of stuff, once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's always going to be talked about. This was the original reason that they removed or locked the post in the first place. No low-effort posts. What? Since when is an official announcement of a cyber attacker issue a low-effort post? Glad that this one is the one getting actually brought up to the top, because I think that even the r/gacha gaming subreddit has started to realize the level of fucking clown-ass behavior that is being pushed forward by these mods. Maybe, and I've said this at least 3 or 4 times, maybe this is going to be the moment where they take off their shill caps for at least half a second and they realize, wow, we're being cringe as fuck. But unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. Don't let Saint see this. We're about to see another 1 hour long rant video. No, this isn't a rant video. This is a video about me talking about how absolutely disgustingly hypocritical this subreddit is, bringing all of the receipts and once again embarrassing this absolute dog shit example of a moderation team, because once again, they are caught red-handed showing their blatant favoritism towards other gacha companies while pretending to be a general r/gacha gaming subreddit. These absolute fucking buffoons have been exposed time and time and time again, and for some odd reason, they never ever want to address it. They're just happy. They're just happy to be made fun of on pretty much like a biannual basis, or really like a monthly basis at this point, with the amount of dog shit that gets spewed out from this stupid moderation team's fingers. And it's ridiculous. It's absurd that it's so easy to make content like this because these people are so incredibly stupid. It's unbelievable. And so yes, I will be reacting to it. Yes, I will be making another video about this, and yes, I will be talking about r/gacha gaming once again on my channel, because holy shit, it's gotten absurd at this point. Thread about Kuro being attacked, but the comments are all about Hoyo players making it about them. Oh, maybe the moderation team locked it for the Hoyo players' own good. The comments are about Hoyo players making it about them. Okay, we gotta keep reading them then. So Saint will have another new drama video today. Absolutely, 1,000,000%. It's happening, my friends. No, this isn't really drama. This is news. This is kind of like an expose of how, again, dumb this community is. A Kuro post being removed. Color me surprised. It's Hoyo's fault. Some Hoyo shills attacked Wuwa. Headline for the Wuwa CCs despite no confirmation who attacked Hoyo. Yeah, we can speculate though. Just like you motherfuckers did with the whole 10-cent situation. But once again, it was okay back then, but it's not okay now. Yep, we do selective moderation over here on this subreddit. Hey, if you're talking shit about Kuro Games and just making stuff up for fun, go right ahead. But the second you start speculating with evidence that Hoyo was in charge of doing something bad, or really not Hoyo, the Hoyo community was in charge of doing something bad, just go fuck yourself. Your thread's getting locked, dumbass. Can't wait drama for certain Western CC. Look at these guys already starting to play the victim. It's insane. Hoyoverse. Okay, but do we get confirmation? Compensation. Go. Shut up. Okay, so clearly a lot of comments were deleted. This thread wasn't able to farm that many, right? Because it was up for 7 hours. I don't even think it was up for 7. I feel like it was up for like 3. I feel like it was up for like 3, and then it got locked up. Chinese official media statistics rank MiHoYo as the strongest gaming brand from China. Okay, but all right, this isn't low effort though. But yeah, this super low effort. Yeah, absolutely. Reporting on news, one of the worst things ever. I think as a whole, it's pretty clear, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't figured it out by now, this is one of the worst possible subreddits. This is one of the worst possible congregation of news that exists in not just the gacha gaming space, but just like space as a whole. And the moderation team over here has a clear amount of favoritism in regards to what exactly is going on. They're so stupid that I think that they would... Actually, I'm not going to say it. That joke's probably offensive. They're some of the stupidest people I've ever seen. They're some of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen. They would give Mr. Pokey a run for his money. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of us can have a discussion. I think a lot of us should be eligible to have a discussion on why this happened, who could have been involved, especially understanding the history of this entire situation. And I'm going to be real here. I think that a Hoyo shill with too much money probably asked a hacker group in China to do this. Because A, they're super butthurt that Cartithia's animations make Skirk look like a fucking budget Walmart, character. They're unhappy about the fact that PGR is getting a better collab than Genshin has ever had in the history. Like, PGR is getting a better collab than any other Hoyo game that's ever been made. And it's clear that Kuro's a company that makes way less money than Hoyoverse as a whole, but they're able to get these deals that have these Genshin players absolutely freaking Genshin, and probably Honkai Impact 3, and probably ZZZ players as well, freaking the fuck out about why they're getting absolutely fucking scraps at the table. And then this budding, tiny, in comparison, gaming company like Kuro Games is just doing everything better. And they're jealous. And what other way to quell that jealousy other than to attack and try to dismantle the opposition so that they can't actually have something good in the first place? And so that's my point of view. That's my speculation, again, based off all the other shit that's confirmed to have happened. And so, hopefully, that'll be the point of view that you all have in the future. And you can stop taking this active censorship by these absolute fucking freaks very seriously in the future. So with that, I think we covered everything. Let me know what you all think. Peace.